dogs, let me tell you about a friend. It's Craig LeBlanc where the good times never end. Talking Parks and Rec, it's a show you gotta know. Welcome one and all to the Daily Parks and Rec Show. It's the Daily Parks and Rec Show.
It helps to be able to have coworkers who are kind of in the same place. We don't all have the same experiences. We're not all going through the same things, but having this kind of generational familiarity really helps. Somebody who understands what you're going through, and it really helps to be able to bounce ideas off of one another, just because you have someone in the room who kind of gets the same things you do.
Welcome back to the Daily Parks and Rec Show, Young Professionals Network Edition, where we spotlight the next generation shaping the future of parks and recreation. Today, we're headed to the city of Alpharetta, Georgia, to hear directly from young leaders working on the front lines of athletics, wellness, and special events. From managing community centers and youth sports to planning citywide events that bring people together, these professionals are living proof that Parks and Rec is more than a job. It's a calling. If you're a student, intern, or early career professional wondering what a real career in parks and recreation looks like day to day, this conversation is for you. Let's dive in.
So welcome back to the Young Professionals Network segment of the Daily Parks and Rec Show. I'm one of your hosts, Aidyn Tierney, as well as my co-host, Michael Morrow. We're both here today, as well as 4 members of the City of Alpharetta's Parks and Rec team, Angel, Alan, Jaydan, and Lyndsey. Thank you guys for being here with us today. We are super excited to talk about what you guys do over in Alpharetta Parks and Rec and what that might look like on your day-to-day. But before we go in that, we're just going to quickly run our promos, and then we'll get started with the conversation.
Welcome to DPRS Media Co., the first media company built for the people behind the Parks and Rec community. We don't just cover on Parks and Rec, we elevate it, we amplify it, we honor it. At the heart of everything we do is one mission: to serve the public servants, the professionals who design, maintain, and lead the parks that shape our communities. Under the Daily Parks and Rec Show, we produce 6 powerful platforms. Leadership in Parks and Rec, a spotlight on directors, superintendents, and visionaries shaping the future of public spaces. Facility maintenance, where the boots hit the ground, a deep dive into the systems, crews, and craftsmanship that keep our parks clean, safe, and beautiful. Young Professionals Network, shining a light on the next generation of Parks and Rec. Students, interns, and mentors sharing how we build a legacy together. Youth Sports Mastery, sponsored by National Academy of Athletics. This series is for coaches, parents, and rec leaders working to make youth sports fun, fair, and meaningful again. The Rec Room, hosted by the passionate leaders of Henry County Parks and Rec. This show brings frontline energy and real-life stories from the field. And the weekly Parks and Rec Post, our official newsletter delivering stories, insights, and community wins every week. We are DPRS Media Co., LLC, a media company with a mission to uplift the professionals who serve every community, every park, every day. Are you a vendor, brand, or service provider ready to connect with the heartbeat of local communities? At DPRS Media Co., we tell the stories shaping parks and recreation across America. Through podcasts, live streams, videos, and newsletters, we reach frontline leaders, city directors, and decision makers every single week. From youth sports and facilities to programming and policy, our audience is your audience. Sponsoring or partnering with DPRS Media Co. puts your brand in front of the professionals who build, budget, and buy for their communities. Launching a new product, growing your presence in public spaces, targeting cities, counties, or departments, DPRS is your trusted media partner. Whether you're in software, turf, aquatics, robotics, smart cities, or special events, partnering with DPRS puts your brand in the story. With commercials, interviews, social campaigns, newsletters, and live shows, we're your media team. Partner with us and grow your impact in the $200 billion parks and rec industry. DPRS Media Co. Stories that move parks and rec forward. Your audience is here. Let's meet them.
So now that we can get started, as I mentioned to you guys before, Mike and I are college students, and this also happens to be the demographic that we're trying to reach and inspire. So a lot of what we're doing is just reaching out to young professionals like yourself, just to get a little sense of what this field or profession might look like. So let's get started by getting to know each of you and what roles you play in this department. So if Angel, you want to start, then we'll go to Lyndsey, then Jaydan, then Alan.
Yeah, my name is Angel. Me and everyone else comes from the city of Alpharetta, and I oversee Preston Ridge Community Center, health and wellness, and then I assist with recreational marketing and GIS mapping.
Hello, everyone. My name is Lyndsey Macon, and I serve with the City of Alpharetta as our special events coordinator. I'm one of a couple, but city events.
Hi, everybody. I'm Jaydan Macon, and I serve as the athletics coordinator alongside, a couple other people here.
And I'm Alan Sanders. I also serve the city of Alpharetta as an athletics coordinator.
And what do you guys how would you say a typical day in your life looks like at this Park and Recs department, and what kind of drew you to this field? Did you go into college with the intention of going into this profession? And
No.
We'll just keep the same order with everything.
Okay.
No, I did not. I went to college and got a degree in sports administration and then a master's in sports administration, and then worked for Reinhardt University as their sports coordinator, I would say.
Okay.
Almost 3 years. And I worked 24 sports at the time, and then I just needed a change. So I was like, why not go into Parks and Recreation?
Yeah.
So my dad actually works for the city of Alpharetta. So I was like, let me see if there's any job opportunities. And ever since then, love it. Every day is so different. I actually bother these three quite often. But every day looks different, whether it's events, facility coordinating, senior programming, connecting with the community, or again, bugging them. I mean, every day is just so different.
Yeah, to kind of piggyback on what Angel said, I think we all kind of had a similar start pattern, maybe with the exception of Alan. But I also started I started in communication, and with that, I went directly into sports communication. So I worked with Murray State Athletics for a couple of months, and then I transitioned into an admissions counselor, where I served primarily athletic-based students. And in both of those fields and in those roles, I got the opportunity to work within events within those roles. And when my brother here started working with the city of Alpharetta, and I'll let him tell more about himself, but when he got the call and moved down here, he served for about a year and was like, Lyndsey, I think this would be a good fit for you too. So he sent me a referral, and it's been just like Angel described, a whirlwind of new and fun opportunities every single day. You get something new every single day working within a park and rec department. And I almost recorded this episode of the podcast within a pit. I don't know if you all have watched the Parks and Rec show. We have a pit right now, so I was going to go in the pit and record, but they said that probably wouldn't be good for the computer.
Like she said, this is my sister, so I might nudge her a couple times if she's talking to too much and my time. But I started actually in traditional business administration whenever I entered school.
Mm-hmm.
And after about a year and a half of that, I kind of just wanted something that I connected with a little bit more. So I moved into the sports management space. Thought I was going to be working a little bit more in line with collegiate athletics or professional sports. And then COVID hit, actually, and that's what kind of pushed me to facility management. And then after a couple years at my previous job doing facility management, I ended up getting this opportunity to come down here and connect a little bit more with athletics again, kind of what I was hoping to do when I first transitioned to the rec space.
Oh, sweet.
Lyndsey, can you tell us what you mean by the pit?
Yeah, absolutely. You seen the show Parks and Recreation, guys?
I'm not. No, I don't.
No,
think
that's
so.
okay. Okay, we'll start there, and you'll see immediately episode 1 what I'm talking about. But we are currently building here within the city of Alpharetta the Wacky Road Playground. We're replacing our former Wacky Road Playground and building a new playground. And currently, there is a hole in the ground that would be considered a pit, and that's
Oh,
the primary story arcs within the show Parks and Recreation. So definitely check it out if you haven't.
Yeah, definitely.
And to piggyback on that, the show is surprisingly accurate in some cases.
Yes,
I
absolutely.
hate to admit it, but it is true. It makes
Right.
it very fun day to day. You never know what's going to happen.
So are you saying we're dry humor?
Oh,
I see the camera to my left almost every 3 seconds of the day.
that's true.
Awesome. Alan?
Yeah, no, I just kind of building off what they said. I absolutely did not start in Parks and Rec. I got a year into a biology degree
Oh.
and was kind of miserable. I had to make a change. I had kind of grown up with Parks and Rec. Both of my parents work in local government too. And it wasn't until I was doing part-time camp counselorship over the summer that I realized like this is what I need to be doing. I love coordinating and building spaces for people, and internships and jobs later. Here I am. Love it. Wouldn't change it for the world.
No, that's awesome. So what would you say? This is more geared towards Jaydan and Alan as the athletic coordinators. Some questions kind of do that, but so what would you say the main successes or challenges are in running athletic programs? Like Mike and I both grew up playing sports and like doing all the tournaments and all that kind of stuff. Is that kind of like what you guys are in charge of, like maybe like scheduling or like I don't know. I'm just interested.
So, Alan, you can take it if you want to jump ahead of me. But basically, we kind of do a mixture. We have a couple partner associations that handle a few of our sports within the city of Alpharetta. But in-house, we run our winter basketball league, which is it is a lot of work, I will say. We are finally seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. We're starting games first weekend in December, so we've got through a lot of the preseason things, and we're finally, looking forward. And now it gets to the fun part where you just kind of get to see the kids having a good time. But essentially, yes, we do run. We're in charge of making sure registration goes good, coaching, communication, finding volunteers, and then scheduling practices and games.
Do you guys normally have like a large group of kids? Is it like youth and adults?
We have hundreds of kids for youth basketball each season. It's definitely what keeps us busy in the winter. 9 months out of the year, though, primarily we do adult sports leagues. Our youth sports throughout the year are mostly classes, some stuff we have contracted, but most of the year I do adult softball league programming. Jaydan is our liaison for adult basketball. So
they're very competitive leagues, like very competitive.
Oh, I would assume.
Yes, they can stress you out more than the children sometimes. And I'm glad that they enjoy themselves and they're having a good time. But Tuesdays and Thursday nights, I just kind of wait by my phone. I'm like, okay, what fun are we getting into tonight? But no, it honestly is a lot of fun. If you haven't taken part in any adult rec league, just because you're out of school doesn't mean that sports stop. People are always looking to continue on that. And it's a good way to meet people, good way to build camaraderie and
Absolutely.
people in your community.
You guys have the competitive kickball leagues for the adults? Because around where we're from, that's one of the big ones that they do for the adults.
Trying to do it this summer or this upcoming summer.
Yeah.
something I've wanted to do for a long time, and just trying to find space for it, like everything. Just
Yeah,
been a
exactly.
challenge.
Wait, where are y'all from?
We're in Pennsylvania.
Yeah, we're like Pennsylvania, Bucks County. I don't know if you know specific
Right.
areas.
Right outside of Philadelphia.
Yeah, like I go to Temple University, like right in Philly,
Gotcha. Very
Yeah.
if you guys are familiar with it. All right, so Angel and Lyndsey, now from your perspectives, how do you think the athletics kind of tie into the larger wellness or like event goals? Like, do you guys play a big role in like the events, or like I'm assuming the marketing for these sports and advertisements and stuff like that?
I'll let Angel take this one away. It's more up her wheelhouse than mine. I will be completely honest.
So within the city of Alpharetta, we all have different departments. So each facility runs a specific program geared toward the community. So Alan and Jaydan come from the athletic side. So they do everything basketball for adult and youth, everything softball for adult and youth. They're actually redesigning our, what is it, golf frisbee? Frisbee golf? Disc golf.
Golf is copyrighted.
And they basically handle all of that. Lyndsey as a whole handles everything within special events. So you have the tree lighting, you have, which we're about to kick off in September, and you have a lot of other stuff. And then me, I do wellness. And then we have like 3 other communities where it's senior programming and just toddler programming, middle school programming. So we all try to help each other when we can within each department. If each department is having a really big event and they need a lot of hands-on. So marketing is more so geared individually.
Oh, okay.
If that makes sense.
Very unique in that way.
Yes.
To Angel's point, we will try and like kind of cross department, help out when we can. But I know Jaydan and Alan probably feel pulled more in my direction when we need a helping hand in special events, more so than be going over and reffing a basketball game. So,
right.
So yeah, we're here to support one another, but there definitely are some defined fields, to Angel's point.
Yeah. And we each oddly, uniquely have our own parks, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So I think that what ties us all together is if there's something going on in Wills Park, which houses 2 facilities, we're all intertwining at that point.
Yes.
So it's very, very unique. So for example, the disc, what is it?
Yeah, disc golf.
Disc golf. Okay. So like if there's a big disc golf, Jaydan and Alan will cross market with the Alpharetta Community Center, as well as special events to do and assist with additional promo that specifically needs to go out, like call outs, or let's all meet up at this place when it comes to like Facebook groups. It's very interesting.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't know that. What would you say like your like most impactful or like favorited programs or wellness programs are?
I would say Town Green Fitness.
Town.
So it's free fitness where we help local fitness groups that are already established in City of Alpharetta. It's basically free marketing. So if we say Zumba in Alpharetta is having a free Zumba event every month in the warmer season, come out between this time and this time and dance. That's one of our biggest ones. It almost like 80 in attendance, just dancing it up in public. I do not do that, but I strongly support anyone who loves it. And CrossFit, we do like yoga is another big one in the parks. That one's really good. And then our second biggest is just free fitness in general, supported by Northside Hospital. They donate so we can help promote free fitness to those who cannot afford it or who are just looking to venture out. They're researching themselves in the fitness world, and they were like, oh, let me see if I can do Zumba. So here's a Zumba class for free. And if you're interested, we partner with these businesses and you can Zumba away your life.
Yeah. Honestly, I would totally do that. I feel like that's like fun. Yeah, I think that sounds fun. If there's
yeah.
80 other people there with me,
Yeah, come on down. Come on down.
yeah.
Come on down to the
We'll
south.
do it.
Yeah.
No, I love that. I wish I got more involved in the community, like around here more often like that with events like that, or like took
Yeah.
part in events like that, because it really does sound like a lot of fun. I'm sure people really appreciate it.
Yeah.
So I guess that would be like some of your signature ones. Are there any like events you guys have in the winter?
In the
Because I
winter.
know you were saying a lot of it is like outside, like during warmer weather and stuff like that. Are there any during the winter?
Yeah, sure. From special events side, we have our season of celebration is what we call it, and that's just any event and program that we have, and we have a holiday guide if anyone wants to check it out on our website. But it shows all of the different activities, programs, and also events that we host within the winter months. So, for example, from special events perspective, we have our tree lighting event that Angel was talking about that's coming up this Saturday. So, for those of you in the Alpharetta surrounding areas, if you'd like to come to the tree lighting event, we'd love to have you. But it's a big community event. On Saturday, it's where we're going to kick off our season of celebration from a city perspective. And we have different local vendors coming to support us. So different coffee shops that are going to be selling some hot beverages in the street. We're going to have photos with Santa. We're also going to have two big stages, one big stage, which is the main stage, to have several local performers come and perform. And then we have a surprise edition of a drum line. I'm not going to say too much. That leads into our secondary stage that's going to kick off the tree lighting ceremony and then ultimately kick off the season. So that from an events perspective is what we do. We also work with different partnered organizations such as the ABA, the Alpharetta Business Association, to put on a holiday market for the season. So different events like that go on from an events perspective, but I can kick it over to Jaydan and Alan and also Angel for any programming if they want to talk on that. Or we can just leave it at the holiday guide, guys. I mean, it's very in depth. So if you want to do that, feel free.
Yeah, I would assume, do the sports or like athletics have like certain tournaments that are like more like seasonal? Like I know we have certain, or not we, but like growing up, like we had like fall tournaments for like soccer or like stuff like that. Like do you guys do that at your park?
A lot of our partner associations do usually have like end of season tournaments, and they host different events. Our partner, the Alpharetta Youth Baseball Association, they have a partnership that they do with the Braves. They have a fundraiser for their fall and spring seasons. Just in-house, we have a 3v3 basketball tournament that we do. We have a winter home run derby that we do. Just also general, we have post seasons for all of our adult leagues. Those are always a fun time. Jaydan, I didn't mean to kind of steal the speaking here.
You're fine. Just to piggyback, he kind of rushed through it. His home run derby that he runs in the winter is really fun. He kind of he brings a Santa Claus usually by. We all wear Christmas hats, and then it's a partnership with Toys for Tots. So
Oh, okay.
kind of loop it in and try and make it a fun community event there.
Yeah.
Now, when
that's
you guys say partnerships with the different sports, are they local organizations or are they bigger ones too? Like I know you said the Braves are one that partners, but are they kind of a mixture of both, or is it more one than the other?
So the Braves one specifically is just a fundraiser agreement that they have with that one association. But what we have with the city, we have several volunteer-run nonprofit associations.
Right.
We partner with them. We have certain requirements that we ask of them. There's financial implications, but we maintain and upkeep fields. In exchange, they kind of manage and offer sports leagues for some stuff that we might not have the personnel to be able to do otherwise. Youth baseball, youth softball. We have rugby and football, cheerleading. We have Special Olympics group. So just volunteer-run organizations that we help by providing resources so that we have this kind of mutually beneficial way of offering several additional sports in our community.
Right, that's awesome.
All right, moving on. I feel like we touched on this a little bit, but how would you guys say you plan events to appeal to different audiences? Like, what does that what would that look like for like families or young adults or like senior citizens?
Lyndsey,
No,
yeah,
yeah,
you answer that. No, Lyndsey, I think the tree lighting is a really good example of how we all implicate all of that into our programming.
Yeah, absolutely. So one of the great things about the tree lighting, I think, is we know that what we're really trying to appeal to is obviously the community at large. So we want families to bring their kids. We really want, but even like grandparents to come through and enjoy the holiday season with their families. So in order to do that, luckily we have a really great layout in our city center that provides a turfed area for families to come out and enjoy the day, play, but then also several accessible areas for families to kind of enjoy the stage area. But what we're doing this year that's different is we're also including an adaptive hour for an hour prior to the event this year. We're doing an adaptive hour so that people who might have sensory issues or sensory sensitive, they can come and enjoy this hour with crafts, with an appearance from Santa, and get the same opportunity to enjoy the event without having to be there and get sensory overload during the actual event. So we're trying to, it's obviously a fine line because some events, they may not necessarily be geared toward children, but there's always something for children to do. Wire and Wood Songwriters Festival is a perfect example of that. We have headliners that were popular probably back in the 80s, but we try and balance that out with new, younger talent in different stages. So Wire and Wood is 6+ stages throughout our downtown area, over 30 performances. So we might activate one stage with some youth and a jazz band, whereas we have our headliner being Wang Chung, which was very techno synthesizer style music that a lot of older individuals would enjoy. But we see like a good mix of people. Youth kids will come out, play with the football because all of our streets are closed. It's very safe. So they'll throw the football on the road while their parents are up at the stage dancing. So yeah, that's kind of how we do it within special events. How about you all?
Angel, you probably, ours is pretty easy to section off because it's typically, you kind of play sports with the groups that you're on. So like we said, we have separate adult leagues, and then even within our adult leagues, we kind of break it down either by skill level or age. We have a 40+ league for basketball, stuff like that. That way you are engaging multiple, sectors of the community there.
Yeah, for sure. Angel?
Well, I just think it really depends on your demographics because we can speak highly of how we operate, but it's where our community is really big, has a really big mix of everything, but we have noticed an increase of disabilities or sensory sensitive families, kids. So we're trying to highlight more so on
Inclusion.
Programming, being inclusive for everyone. So that includes like senior programming is starting to get really big, really popular because of pickleball. I mean, pickleball, anyone can do it, okay? No matter what age, okay? Or just we have a lot of families who like to be outside specifically, so their kids can be grounded. So we try to make sure that everyone is happy when they come to the city of Alpharetta.
Yeah, the light sensory or not light sensory, the sensory overload thing. That's definitely a newer thing. I've never heard of that specifically. Like when thinking of an event like that, like I would have never thought to consider that. But if if that is becoming a bigger demographic to focus on that.
Mhm.
Yeah, I just never heard of it.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. And I think another thing, like that some of these things come up organically. And in truth, one of the primary reasons that we even thought to do this room is because last year we introduced elements that we had Santa kind of pop out and make appearances in random places to try and like surprise people and get them ready for the big performance. And through that, Santa got the opportunity to meet with a young man named Trevor, whose family we actually utilized their balcony for. And so Trevor is someone who experiences sensory overload and needed some special assistance with meeting Santa. And their family just reached out and asked if we were doing anything similar this year. And while we weren't doing the balcony aspect, that really got our minds flowing. So we think, like, for us in particular within special events, it's always being willing to have that conversation and think through some things that we didn't maybe think of in the past, but are willing to maybe think through some ideas. We have a great team here, and that's something I'm sure we'll touch on a little later, but we have teams of people who have done similar programming within their own buildings or facilities, and we get to bounce ideas off of them, see if it makes sense. And luckily we have that within the city of Alpharetta. So shout out to Jenny and Lyndsey over at the ACC, Alpharetta Community Center, for all of the help that they do to help us bring programs like this to the forefront, because it is important.
Yeah, that's great that you guys are able to adapt to all those needs. So we are at the 30-minute mark, so we're officially halfway through. So we're just going to take a quick break and run 2 more promos, but it should be super quick. So we'll be right back.
When we talk about essential services, what comes to mind? Police, firefighters, healthcare. But there's another essential service, often overlooked, yet always present. Parks and recreation. Parks and Rec is health. It's the walking trail that lowers blood pressure. The recreation center, where seniors fight isolation. The swim lessons that prevent tragedy before it happens. This isn't a luxury, it's a lifeline. Parks and Rec is safety. A playground instead of a street corner. A basketball court instead of trouble. A summer camp where every child belongs. It's not just about activity, it's about protection, prevention, and possibility. Parks and Rec is community, the festival that brings neighbors together, the cultural event that teaches respect and diversity, the open space where a city breathes. It builds bridges where division once stood. It gives people a reason to gather, to connect, to care. And Parks and Rec is economics. It strengthens property values. It drives tourism through events and trails. It saves on healthcare costs. Every dollar invested multiplies, feeding back into schools, into safety, into growth. Essential service is not just about survival, it's about thriving. And Parks and Recreation is where thriving begins. In wellness, in equity, in culture, and in joy. Parks and Rec isn't extra, it's essential. For our health, for our safety, for our communities, for our future. A message from the behind every thriving park, every safe playground, every event-ready field, there's a team working before sunrise and long after sunset. This is Facility Maintenance, the only show created for and by the unsung heroes of Parks and Recreation. Brought to you by DPRS Media Co., where real work gets real recognition. From restrooms to rec centers, HVAC to turf tech, we go beyond the job site into the heart of operations that keep our communities moving. Our mission? To elevate maintenance teams through stories, solutions, and shared experience. Our vision? A world where every facility crew is seen, valued, and fully supported. Each episode features operators, innovators, and leaders, sharing tools, tech, and tactics that make the impossible look easy. Facility maintenance isn't just a job, it's purpose, it's passion, and now it's a show. Facility Maintenance. where tools meet purpose, where work becomes legacy. Behind every
Oops. All right. So now that we're in the second half of the show, I'm gonna focus on some like lighter questions, maybe something that could make you excited for what's to come. So I wanted just to ask, just because you guys do seem like very close within like working together, even though you're not all the same like departments, if I'm correct, that's what I'm getting. So I wanted to ask, like, what do you all enjoy most about working together?
Who wants to take it?
And we can
Alan, you haven't talked.
Oh, okay.
we can do the same order if you want, or we could switch around. Whoever wants to talk is good.
Well, I'd just say it really helps, with the exception of Jaydan, who we share an office together, but it helps to be able to have coworkers who are kind of in the same place. We don't all have the same experiences. We're not all going through the same things, but having this kind of generational familiarity really helps. Somebody who understands what you're going through, and it really helps to be able to bounce ideas off of one another. Just because you have someone in the room who kind of gets the same things you do. And that's not to say that's not, something you can't do with other coworkers, but when you have coworkers kind of around your same age, it definitely helps.
Yeah, for sure. Wait, Angel, I can't hear you.
Are you muted?
It helps you stay younger, is what I say.
Yes. Yeah. Like Alan said, we share an office, and I'm about 6 feet away from him every day. It's nice though, like you said, just to bounce off. I feel like at our age, we are still very excited about what we're doing, and you come in and you have so many ideas, and it's really nice to bounce off of each other and kind of build upon that. So I get along with him most of the time. Works out
Most
well.
of the time.
But since he's so close, again, we can kind of just throw our little mini basketball at each other if we really.
No, yeah, I think piggybacking off of what Alan said primarily, and then Jaydan secondarily, it's really helpful. I mean, I kind of feel a little bit siloed, just a slight bit, in terms of getting to connect with these guys on a consistent basis, just because my office is a little bit more, I'm at City Hall and they're in the parks. So sometimes I miss out on those small moments of connection. Don't get me wrong, my coworkers are great.
Yeah.
But when we do get together, it's like this collective energy that we all have. And we'll have 5-minute conversations about nothing, and I feel energized to get back to my computer to do something for the rest of the day. So to Alan's point, it is great to have these individuals to bounce ideas off of, whether it be talking through different programming aspects or just talking about what you did this weekend. It's really nice to kind of have some people who get it around you.
Yeah, for sure. Angel?
Yeah, well, I just pick up my Amazon boxes.
At least
At a whole other facility, so that way it doesn't get lost. No, but in all, I think when I assist with marketing, it really does help me and pick up my Amazon boxes. That's a real story. It does help me just connect with them again, and like, I'm not usually a yapper, but like when I pick up my Amazon boxes or if I see Lyndsey, I mean, I'll talk for an hour.
Yeah.
It's easy.
Talk for an hour. It's super easy. But yeah, like everyone said, it's just like we kind of get each other in a very unique way. And as you two, when you guys get a non-internship job, I mean, you're going to lean closer to the people that you naturally gravitate to. And it really does help. It helps every day.
Yeah, for sure. Even Mike and I, like working on this together, we grew up, like we went to high school together, and he's actually dating my twin sister.
Whoa!
Wow.
So
Mike's like, "Oh, yeah."
being able to work together has been very like entertaining. It's definitely interesting to see each other in a more professional
Mhm.
like way, but just being the same age and just knowing each other ahead of time already has made it like very easy, like a very easy switch.
Yeah.
I also was wondering if you guys have any like upcoming programs or projects that are coming up that you're super excited about, potentially future.
Mm.
So Angel mentioned it a little bit earlier, but our disc golf course redesign,
Right.
hopefully at some point within the next year, we should have that completed. We've been working on it for quite a while now, but we're really excited to get that off the ground officially and kind of move forward with that one.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, if I'm being obvious, I would say obviously the tree lighting coming up on Saturday. So I will avoid being obvious and I'll say Taste of Alpharetta is always a fun event for us. To
Oh.
provide a little bit of context, Taste of Alpharetta is our premiere. It's an annual. It's for this year was 33, so next year will be 34th annual Taste of Alpharetta. It is a huge community event. We had about a little over 60 restaurants last year from our local community participate. They serve sample sizes of food, and not only do we have that, we have a beverage garden, kids zone, all of these things. So it's a huge community event. And last year in particular, we had a culinary competition, which is a portion that kind of gets to showcase the chefs. And we got to do a community portion with that where we were able to select a couple of community judges. And I didn't realize how much I would enjoy that process. I was one of the ones to select the community judges and to read submissions of folks who have been going to the Taste of Alpharetta for years with their family, and seeing that as someone who moved to Alpharetta about 2 years ago now. And not having had that experience myself and getting to like live through their stories a little bit and see it with my eyes now from what it grew to be from and what it is now has been so impactful for me. And so to see that again next year will be really, really fun for me.
No, I love that. That's like a great idea.
Absolutely.
I feel like I see all the like shows about like the competitions or cooking competitions or stuff like that, but
Yes.
That's awesome. I've
Yes.
never heard of it.
It's
like,
pretty big. Who's that influencer that was a bachelor? That is
Matt James, who was a bachelor a couple of years back. He actually came to the Taste of Alpharetta and showcased several of our restaurants. So it's really fun. It's a great event. Definitely Instagrammable if you all want to come down to Alpharetta, take some snaps.
Yeah.
It's a fun event. And in addition to that, like you get the opportunity to give some of these smaller local businesses that we have here the opportunity to showcase themselves for the first time. And one restaurant in particular I can target. Last year, we went into their restaurant, just the owner and his wife running around, and they would do anything for you when you walk in, willing to offer us food off the back plates, and then also offering us drinks. And we helped them get to the Taste of Alpharetta, and to see their smiles on their faces after the event was all said and done made all the blood, sweat, and tears that went into the event worthwhile for us. So
yeah, for sure. That's very sweet. That's really sweet.
Heartwarming.
Yeah, for sure. All right, so we're probably going to start wrapping up here. So I'm just going to ask one last question again, because this is geared towards like inspiring younger like college students or maybe even high schoolers. You never know who we reach. I wanted to ask as a final question, like for young professionals looking to get into this field or potentially, what do you think they could look forward to, and like what are some of your most memorable events or just memories in general you'd say you have working in Parks and Rec? If we want to do Angel, Lyndsey, Jaydan, Alan.
Okay.
My advice would be like after you graduate, you do need the experience, but just do what makes you happy. If you're community driven, if you enjoy working for kids, with kids, if you enjoy trying to like make another community better, that because you live there. I grew up in the city of Alpharetta, and it was always very homey. And then 29 years later, there's a lot of changes, but it's still homey.
Right.
So I think it's amazing seeing the back end of everything. But yeah, just do what you love. I love athletics. That's what my first job was. But then I soon realized that I can still be the person I am and reach a bigger community with parks and recreation.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Definitely agree with that. Never in a million years would I've ended up in Parks and Recreation as a profession, but that's not to say that this isn't a wonderful profession. It's just to say, like, sometimes you didn't know that this is an opportunity for you. And certainly where Jaydan and I grew up was a very small area in Tennessee, and we didn't realize the impact of the programs that we had around us. And especially like national organizations that we had around us. We were both involved in youth sports growing up. And I truly, truly believe that those sports impacted the trajectory of both of our lives, particularly mine, if I'm speaking just for myself. But yeah, I think the most memorable opportunity that I've had in working with Parks and Recreation is sort of some of the stories that I've touched on, just in terms of working with these restaurants and working with these kids. But also the Stanley Cup event it was so random, and we had a week to put this together, and Angel helped me with this, and we had help from all of these different groups within the city of Alpharetta, and to see everyone come together and throw this event, what we felt like was throwing it together to kind of give hundreds, if not hundreds of little kids who have never experienced hockey before the opportunity to see this trophy, that was all worthwhile for me. So just getting the opportunity to do that is great.
Yeah,
Put yourself out there. You never know what's going to come.
very true.
For me, it's kind of a little bit on that last note that Lyndsey touched on. I think even when you decide that you want to be in Parks and Rec, keep an open mind to the different opportunities, within the field, because like I mentioned, I've bounced around with a few different ideas. I thought I was going to be a little bit more on the athletic side as far as college or professional sports and front office work, stuff like that. But as you try new things, sometimes you realize like your heart is really in one area. Maybe you want to go into marketing. Maybe you want to, do programming a little bit more. So just keep an open mind. Something that was big for me during undergrad, I did an internship with my college's athletics department, and they had us bouncing around doing different roles within different sports. And again, that really helped narrow down. Like, I know I like to be on site. I like to be busy. I like helping set up for events and, stuff like that. Because before that, I would have thought I was maybe more focused on the marketing or anything like that. So, but yeah, keep an open mind. And then here, one of the most memorable, kind of programs that I have been a part of, my first Boo Bash that I did. That was a month after I started in the city of Alpharetta. And Boo Bash is an event that we run around Halloween. It's a bunch of games for the youth and candy and, Halloween related program. And it was just nice to see how involved the community is in Alpharetta and how excited they got. And it really made me feel like I made a great decision moving from Tennessee down here.
I'm realizing with the exception of Angel, we're all transplants in the Alpharetta area. But I guess really feels like home. So, sorry, the question again. What bullet points am I looking for here?
Oh, I'm sorry. The question was just like, for young professionals looking to get into the field, what do you think they could look forward to? Or Angel, Jaydan, and Lyndsey have been kind of giving little like advice, tips here and there. And then what was one of your most memorable either events or just memories in general from Parks and Rec so far?
I would just say the biggest advantage that people in Parks and Rec have is that it just is so wide spanning. And it's going to sound like a criticism, but really anyone can do Parks and Rec. If you think that it's something that you would like, chances are you're probably right. If you're doing something like engineering, you're probably either really good at it or I guess you really like it. But Parks and Rec people are in it because they want to help others, and you can do so much with it too. I mean, I know people from my undergraduate experience who are park rangers and arborists, but you also have people who work in like real estate and sports health and sports management. There's just so much that you can do with it. Parks and Rec is just so good that it gives you so many opportunities, and you can really kind of create your own opportunities. You don't have to be pigeonholed into one thing or another. You can kind of expand even what you do. I have kind of started more things from when I came in. The home run derby is one of my favorites every year. That first one was maybe the most satisfying moment of my career so far. Just being able to create that new space and to be able to work with so many people towards a common goal, getting Toys for Tots donations together. It just it kind of means the world.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're going to end here, but it has been really great, like learning more about your job specifically and just the city of Alpharetta and all your community events and athletics and such. So thank you so much for taking the time to talk with us today. And we're just gonna play our outro and then we'll be done. So thanks guys.
Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Are you ready to lead the next generation of Parks and Rec? Whether you're a student, intern, or rising leader, welcome to the Young Professionals Network by DPRS Media Co. Our mission? To empower early career professionals in parks and recreation through mentorship, visibility, and real-world leadership development. Our vision? A national network of passionate, prepared, and purpose-driven leaders who shape the future of public service. Starting now. Powered by the Daily Parks and Rec Show, YPN gives you access to exclusive interviews, career-building resources, behind-the-scenes content, and live events, all created by and for the next wave of Parks and Rec professionals. Learn from seasoned directors, build your brand, get involved with national conversations that matter. Whether you're in youth sports, facilities, programming, or policy, YPN is your launchpad. Young Professionals Network, your career, your community, your story.